On today's episode, we're going to be chatting about unrelenting belief and also when to call it quits with my guest Marlow Marshall from Marlow Design on this episode of Founder to Founder. This is Founder to Founder, where no one succeeds alone. I'm Alex Putici, your host. Each episode, we explore the journeys of entrepreneurs and innovators from the Work Nicer community, sharing their struggles, successes, and lessons that they've learned along the way. Hey, welcome back. This is Founder to Founder. We're here again with Marlow. If you missed the last two episodes, go check them out. Marlow gets into some pretty deep stuff that a lot of other people aren't willing to chat about, so definitely recommend checking it out. Today, we're just going to jump into a little bit about what Marlow referenced on the last one, which was this unrelenting belief in the business that kept him going. And so I want to touch on that a little bit, Marlow. I think a lot of people say that. They say, I just kept believing, I kept on pushing, and then it worked. And I don't think it's that easy either, because I don't think it's that easy to actually push through it. I think a lot of people will actually struggle to do that, or there's actually just more to the story that people don't want to get into typically. And so can you open up a little bit about that?
For sure. I think that I did have unrelenting belief, but I am analytical by nature. I'm never going to jump into something that I think is completely unfeasible. The numbers were there, like the fact we had done $1 million in sales, that I was at top capacity for myself by myself alone. That there was, and it's not like I was reinventing the wheel. Like the jewelry market has existed for quite some time, so there wasn't previous data there. We had an interesting spin on it, and I think that it was just I had to make clear, I had to really see the vision of how it best made sense to be an operating business. So there wasn't, well, I did have unrelenting belief in the vision I had and what we had for, I felt that our motives were slightly, I would call them more pure than a lot of the more corporate jewelry focuses. I felt that emotionally, but financially, analytically, it made sense in the long run as well there too. There was plenty of models of where designers have succeeded and grown as well. And
right.
And I had a bit of also that combination of that business history from the retail side of the jewelry. So there was things in place that, okay, this model is proven. I just have to figure out where our faults are that are causing the most issues within the business.
Right. Okay. So then is it something that you would recommend to everybody, or is it something that you think that anybody could have done?
There is a degree of nature versus nurture, for sure. There are just undeniably, and this isn't to raise my ego up or anything, but there are just people who have a natural talent, and I hope people can recognize their talents and where they are the best at it. So with that being said, there are some people that you might have a dream, but if you clearly don't have an aptitude for that dream, you can have all that unrelenting belief. This isn't to take away that belief, it's important, but there does have to be a degree of self-assessment, reality. There has to be a component where the numbers and the reality has to make sense in degree to the emotion as well too. So if you feel like you can become the best actor in the world and you can't remember lines, and no matter how long you try and you can't remember those lines, maybe that's not the path for you, right? But if you've seen initial success and you've seen that you have to be able to visualize that potential, then yes, then you need to go all in. If you see that potential and you feel you can clearly visualize it and you can see that there's at least that rosebud of a talent there, then feed the plant for sure as much as you possibly can.
Right.
But if there's no baseline whatsoever, then maybe it's time to rethink what you are best at and then put that unrelenting belief into it.
Right. So is there anything else in your life previous to this business that you pushed through that maybe you shouldn't have, or that really shouldn't have survived and somehow you did?
I would just say my life was pretty easy. I would describe it. I'm a very lucky person, and that's a part of it too. Is I'm extremely lucky. I believe I'm an extremely lucky person. I grew up with an amazing family. I never wanted for anything growing up there. So it's my sense of gratefulness for all that is what has driven my work ethic. So like I could have easily gone the other way and felt entitled and felt like I deserve everything. So I'm also blessed that I'm grateful for all the gifts that I've been given. I felt that in order for me to grow as a person, I had to seek out challenges. Before my time in the jewelry industry, I worked in the supplement industry, saw rousing success. We took a store from $500,000 to $1.5 million in Red Deer. We were the top in Canada. You know, CEOs, presidents chatting me up trying to get my advice. And then I made the switch to the jewelry industry, which I had zero knowledge whatsoever. I'd bought a family ring for a girlfriend at one point in time, so I made that switch, and that was an extreme struggle for me because I couldn't understand why a client would want to spend this kind of money on this piece. I would say guys in the jewelry industry, unless you have, family members, unless it came as a legacy thing, it's a rarity, and not too many guys will join the jewelry industry not having grown up in it. So it was a shock for me. Just that move to the retail jewelry industry was extremely difficult, and I went from being somebody where everyone was chatting to and for my advice to an absolute nobody in the company, and had to work myself back up from there. So that was the first time where I forced a challenge on myself to see what I could succeed when your back's against the wall. And me then moving to the top of that company, that proved me that okay, this is something I can do.
Wow, it's amazing. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. This chat and the one subsequent to it have been fantastic. So I think that's going to wrap it up for now. So again, make sure you guys check out the other episodes and the other conversations with Marlow. And really, really thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Again, where can people go and connect with you?
They can go to marlowdesign.ca, where you can sign up for an appointment with us, either in person or digitally at our studio. You can also get a hold of us at info@marlowdesign.ca or via phone at 403-992-8452.
And thank you again for being here. Stay tuned for future episodes of Founder to Founder. That's it for this episode of Founder to Founder. I'm Alex Putici. Stay connected, stay inspired, and remember, success is built through collaboration. See you next time.